Hi everyone. So this is my day 3 or night 3 of my journey to gain 1,000 subscribers in 90 days for my 3 channels: Dr. Chee Kinder, Dr. Chee How To, that's this one, and Dr. Chee Bible. So one of the things I said was to learn from the best, take actions. Number 2 and number 3 is mindset. So I'm going for number 1, that's learning from the best by looking at some of these videos. This one is about the top 10 frequently asked questions about the M50 Canon. That's what I'm going to get in the mail in a few days. I ordered it. I took a step out by faith. Hopefully it's a good investment because I need more storage, and also I'm at the stage where I need better quality shooting too. So anyway, I'm not really getting an income yet from YouTube, but I'm throwing in close to $1,000 in equipment, $800, $700 something. Anyway, hopefully it's a good investment. I think it is. All right, let's take a look at the commonly asked questions about something that I decided to get. Maybe I could learn something, and in this way, better quality videos, more views, and more subscribers. Here we go.
Of 2018. I did a more detailed review a few months ago, and so far I received almost 1,300 comments and questions. What I did was put together a list of the top 10 most frequently asked questions about the M50. Now, spoiler alert, I did decide to include a super important bonus question at the end, so make sure you stay tuned to find the answer. Alright, let's get going. One of the most frequently asked questions I got was, is the M50 a good camera for vlogging? And the answer is, it's a fantastic camera for vlogging. It's small and light, so you can easily take it with you everywhere. It has a flip screen, so you can make sure that you're framed well when you're in front of the camera. It has the best autofocus system on the market, so your video is always...
That's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want. Autofocus. I'm not an expert at all. I get confused by all the buttons. So autofocus is the key, and the fact that there's a flip screen that I do a lot of selfie videos, so that's ideal. All right, let's see what else you have to say.
Going to be super crisp. I love the external mic input so that you can use an external microphone and get better audio for your vlogs, and it has an excellent APS-C sensor to help you get great image quality in different lighting conditions. There are a couple of slight limitations that I want to make sure that you're aware of, and they have to do with 4K video. If you're wanting to vlog in 4K, which I absolutely don't think is necessary for the majority of people, the M50 doesn't use the dual pixel autofocus system.
Okay, I heard a lot about that 4K, the M50 4K could do it, but it doesn't do a good job about it. Yeah, it would be good to be able to do 4K, but I think it's beyond my pocketbook right now. That's if I get more successful and get an income, a decent income, like 20,000 a month from YouTube, even if it's 10,000 a month, if it's 5,000 a month, maybe I will invest in a camera that could do 4K. Well, we'll see.
Instead, it uses a contrast detection system, which still works great, but I like the dual pixel autofocus better. You will also need to apply an additional 1.6 crop factor when you're figuring out your focal length. I explain this in more detail in the full review, so when you're finished with this video, go ahead and check it out if you'd like to know more. Moving on, another question I received was, is the M50 a good camera for beginner photographers? Once again, the answer is a resounding yes. This camera lets you immediately pick...
Well, that's good, but that's not I'm not really into photography. I'm into vlogging, YouTube videos. That's what I'm into. I'm into trying to be a full-time vlogger, video creator. That's where my passion is. Not taking pictures that stand still.
Get up and start shooting if you want to let the camera take control and just use full auto. As you get to know more about photography and how the camera works, you can move up to aperture priority or shutter priority modes. And then finally, once you completely understand exposure, you can go to full manual and then have complete control over each exposure. Something else that's rarely discussed in review videos is ergonomics and the user interface. And I'm a huge fan of Canon ergonomics. And with the exception of maybe wanting another dial to control aperture and shutter speed independently of each other, I can't really think of something else that I would change about this camera. There's a button on the back that toggles the functionality of this dial between aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. And once I got used to it, it's actually really nice because I can use the same dial to control all three items, and I don't have to use, different dials in different areas of the camera. The Canon menu system is super simple to use. I really like the top level breakdown into shooting settings, playback settings, function settings, and display level settings. And within each section, the items are clearly marked and intuitively organized. The next question I want to share with you is, does the M50 have a clean HDMI out, and can I use it for streaming? Because the M50 is such a great camera, a lot of people want to use it for streaming.
Okay, that's a big important question. Can I use it for streaming? I'm looking for a good camera for streaming, and I didn't thought about that. Let's see what I have to say.
Streaming. And in order to do that, the camera has to be able to output what you see on the LCD screen, but without all the menu and overlay options. Because, of course, you don't want that to be included in your stream. And that's called a clean HDMI out. Now, the M50 does not have a clean HDMI out, but there are several ways to work around that limitation. I'll shoot a complete tutorial showing two very different ways that you can use the Canon M50 for streaming, and once you learn how to do it, it does a fantastic job. If that's something that you're interested in and you don't see a link up in the corner or in the description, let me know in the comment section and hit the subscribe and notification buttons so you're alerted when it's published. Another really popular question was, does the M50 have in-body image stabilization? Image stabilization is something that's beneficial in both photography and video. For photography, it's really nice when you're working with slower shutter speed or with longer focal lengths. For video, it's great to help remove some of the shakiness that you get when you're shooting handheld, when you're walking around, or moving the camera. There are two types of camera image stabilization. The first is digital image stabilization. And essentially the camera is using software to digitally manipulate the image and then compensate for the shake that's being introduced by camera movement. The second type of image stabilization is in-body image stabilization, where the sensor of the camera actually makes slight moves to compensate for camera shake. And an example of this is what you find on something like the Sony a6500. The M50 uses 5-axis digital image stabilization, which is okay, but it's not the absolute best. In my opinion, you're better off using lenses with image stabilization like this 15 to 45 kit lens, which does a pretty good job. Now, if you're serious and really interested in buttery smooth camera movement, I would always recommend that you use a 3-axis gimbal. This leads me right into the next question. What gimbal do you recommend to use with the M50? The fact is that no camera or lens image stabilization is going to do as good a job as a dedicated 3-axis gimbal. It's just not a fair fight. The camera and the lens have slight enhancements to help alleviate some of the camera motion, whereas a 3-axis gimbal is a tool specifically designed to do one thing: keep the camera stable. There are a lot of options on the market right now, and some of my favorites are the Moza Air 2 and the DJI Ronin S. I do have reviews of both coming very soon, but I've been super impressed with the results. The next question I want to answer is, which microphone should I use with the M50? One of the reasons that I like the M50 for video is the fact that it has an external microphone input. And this allows me to use a much better microphone than the built-in omnidirectional microphones and get significantly better audio. There are a lot of microphones out, and it can be quite intimidating to try to pick one out of the blue. I did a review of a complete lineup of directional microphones ranging from $59 to $350, and I'll put a link up in the corner in the description so you can check it out and find one that's a good fit for you and your budget. Which microphone you choose will come down to how good you want your audio to sound and what the value is of that investment. The video will give you what I think is a fair comparison so that you can make an informed decision. The best thing is, regardless of which option you choose, your audio will immediately sound better. The next question I want to respond to is, can I use the M50 for sports photography? Now, when shooting images, the M50 can shoot at up to 10 frames per second in both RAW and JPEGs. That means that you can hold the shutter down and the camera will just keep firing until the buffer is full. For sports photography, this is a great feature because you can point the camera at the action and then fire away, and then go back later on and choose the exact shot that you want. So yes, I think the M50 can absolutely be used for sports photography when paired with the right lens. Another question I got all the time is, how good is the battery life on the M50? And the straight answer is, it's not that great. The M50 uses an LPE12 rechargeable lithium-ion battery, and it's rated for 235 shots per charge. And that's whether you're using the EVF or the LCD. There is an eco mode that can boost the battery life up to about 370 shots. To turn the eco mode on, click on the menu button, then go to Function Settings, page 2, Eco Mode, click on it, and then set it to on. Regardless, I recommend that you pick up an additional battery so you don't have to worry about running out of battery if you're going on a trip or if you plan on shooting all day. The next question has to do with something that's bothered me about other Canon cameras like the M6 and the G7X Mark II. The question is, can I use the Canon Camera Connect app with the M50 for video, and can I transfer my video files to my phone? With some older models, the Camera Connect app would work for photography. You could control some settings and trigger the shutter, but when you change it to video mode, poof, everything just went away. One of my absolute favorite features as a creator is that the M50 can be fully controlled using the app. I'm talking about resolution, frame rate, focus mode and point, aperture, shutter speed, ISO, white balance, audio settings, and of course you can start and stop recording. This lets me use my phone both as a remote monitor and a controller. I don't have to constantly get up and mess with the camera in order to make adjustments and start and stop my video. I can just sit down, pick up my phone, make sure that everything looks good, and then hit start. For photos, I really like this when I do macro photography because I don't need to touch the camera to trigger the shutter. The next question I want to discuss in this video is, what are some good wide-angle lenses for the M50? A lot of people are interested in landscape, street, or architectural photography. Or maybe they shoot video and they're tight on space, or they want to vlog in 4K and they find the additional crop factor challenging. Regardless of the reason, I'm going to share with you two great options. If you need to go ultra-wide, Canon offers an EFM 11 to 22mm f4 to 5.6 STM lens with image stabilization. This zoom lens gives you a wider angle of view than the 15 to 45 kit lens. You might not think that this small difference in focal length is going to matter, but you'd be surprised. If you have the EFM adapter for EF and EFS lenses, this opens up a whole world of opportunities, not just for wide angle, but for lenses in general. This adapter will let you use the entire line of Canon EF and EFS lenses, which include all of the high-end L-series USM lenses. Going back to the wide angle question, this gives you the option to use the very popular EFS 10 to 18 STM lens, which also has image stabilization. This is another excellent choice for getting those wide-angle vlog shots or for stills. I wanted to include a bonus question, which is actually going to be the topic of a more in-depth video. The question is, how is the low light performance on the M50? This is of course a loaded question and has to do with what are we comparing it to, but I want to give you a quick test of what the M50 looks like throughout the ISO range. Like I said, this isn't intended to be super detailed, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what you can expect from the M50 in terms of low light. If you want to see a lot more examples, the low light performance video should be published soon. So these were some of the most frequently asked questions I got about the Canon M50. I hope that I was able to go over some things that you may be thinking about, whether you're considering buying the M50 or even if you already own it. If you have any additional questions, please ask me in the comment section and I do my best to answer every question I can. If you found this video helpful, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up. And if this is your first time here, please join the community by hitting the subscribe and notification buttons for more camera and tech reviews. I'll also leave links in the description to some of the products that I talked about. And if you end up buying those or any other products using those links, you help support my channel for free and allow me to create more content. You can always find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Tech Gear Talk. And you know what I always say, buy it nice or buy it twice. Good luck and see you soon.
All right, I like the last one. Buy it nice or buy it twice. I'm glad I bought it nice. So I made the right decision.
Hi, my name is Michael Andrew, and I'm going to give you a free tutorial
About that, getting some kind of attachment so that I could later on upgrade to bigger lenses, I think. But that's down the line. I think I'm gonna use this, just what it has, the Canon with the microphone, the Rode microphone, and the tripod that came along, that I bought as well. It'll be a while before I start upgrading. Let me just make some income and get more views, get my 1,000 subscribers before I invest in more. I think I got enough for now. All right, don't forget to click subscribe, like, and make a comment. You won't miss any of my videos and comment, so hopefully you could comment in such a way that I can put videos that can serve you better, meet your needs. I imagine you're looking at my site because you're a beginner or you're somewhat interested in losing weight, because that's what I do in my channel. All right, or beginning vlogger. We'll see you in a bit.